What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
It's our last episode of 2025, because we're going to take a couple weeks off for the Christmas and New Year holiday, so you better enjoy it. Otherwise, you'll just have to listen to back episodes, maybe that you missed or something like that. I don't know. A bit of housekeeping before we get into what I've been playing. Discord is where you can go to, chat with our community and us. denspixels.com/fans to join up inside of there. If you like watching podcasts on YouTube, as I find myself gravitating towards more and more, you can go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe to us there. If you prefer the old-fashioned way of listening to podcasts, just search for TNP Studios in the podcast application of your choice, and you'll find us, but you'll also find the Nerdpocalypse, Black and Black Cinema, and the Look Forward Political Podcast, all of which you should subscribe to as well. And if you'd like to support TNP Studios with zeal, go to densepixels.com/premium, or it's just $5 a month to help support one of your favorite independent media brands. We're going to talk about the Game Awards in a little bit, but I have some gears to grind with Active Blizzard Box, as I'm going to take to calling them nowadays, because they announced the new Diablo IV expansion called Lord of Hatred, which comes out in April.
I wanted to ask you about this.
Oh, we're going to talk a lot about this, and
all right.
they had a cool trailer showing Mephisto in the form of Akaret, as he was at the end of the last Diablo expansion. Spoilers for Diablo. It's okay. Like, no one really cares about the story of Diablo. It's fine.
Yeah.
Even though the lore is very cool, like, it's okay to spoil that. And he's fought off by a paladin, and they're adding paladin to the game. And not only are they adding it to the game, but you can play as paladin in Diablo 4 right now. They started a new season that coincided as soon as the Game Awards ended, the season started. And you can play as Paladin right now, but in order to do that, you have to pre-order the expansion. Which I feel is a little fucked up, because they're adding a second class in the expansion. We don't know what it is yet, in addition to Paladin. And I feel like it would have been fair to be like, hey, you have to own Vessel of Hatred, which is the earlier expansion, in order to play as Paladin. I feel like that would have been okay. But to, like I said, to make me put that, to try to get me to put down money in advance to use the Paladin character, it was a little, it irritated me a little bit. I gotta say, especially because when you pre-order this new expansion, if you did not get Vessel of Hatred last year, it comes with this new expansion, and you can start using Vessel of Hatred right away.
Come on, man.
Which is cool if you didn't get Vessel of Hatred before, right? Because the new expansion requires Vessel of Hatred in order to work. Like, it won't even work without it. So they're like, well, we have to give it to them, and we're not going to expect anyone that hasn't bought, the first expansion yet to buy two expansions at once. That would be crazy. So, like, we're gonna do this. So I was a little irritated about that, and I was like, man, that's fucking irritating and gross. I don't know if I want to pre-order this new expansion yet. Like, I might want to wait till the game comes out. And then I pre-ordered it because I wanted to play as the Paladin in the new season.
That's not the level, man. That's not the level. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I really want to do this, man. But
so here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? So the new season started on Thursday night. I obviously didn't start playing it till Friday because I'm not crazy. I'm not going to be up at midnight, playing this new shit when I got to work the next day. That's insane. So I did play it. I started playing it Friday night. Micah, I have played 20 hours between Friday and today. Diablo 4, because I gotta tell you, the Paladin is really fun.
God damn it, Brad.
I literally haven't played Diablo 4 in over a year. I found out with my Steam account. So they've added a lot of, like, improvements in the game over the last couple of seasons, all of which are really good. And it's just been really fucking fun to play.
God damn it, man. Because, like, I love a Paladin class, man.
Yeah.
I really do. And And when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is dope, man!" And then they were like, "You can play it now," and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Right? And then I log in, it's like, "Oh, but you got to pre-order." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Fuck!" And I'm looking at those prices, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Shit!"
crazy, right? Like that. I don't like the audacity of the deluxe pricing on the expansion. Like $40 for the expansion, considering what you're getting, totally fair. The premiums that they ask for with the new expansion pricing, for like the deluxe editions and stuff like that, out of control.
Yeah, man.
But I threw down
God.
$40. Look, I want to use the fucking paladin because when the new season comes out, I'm gonna want to play as the other new class,
Right.
whatever that is. So like I want to use the paladin now. And turns out paladin might be a little OP the way that the
It
the
looks
way that
super
it's
fucking
too.
fun, dude. God damn it.
So
Ah.
so yeah, paladin's cool. Paladin is the first kind of rework of the skill tree that they're going to be doing with I think all of the characters. Where so like you know how like with the other characters on their skill tree, like each skill has like an upgrade and then a branching upgrade that you can pick from, but you can only pick one of the branches. Well, all the paladin skills come with a third option in that second branch, basically. So like you have a lot more customizability over how it works, and it just everything's like building synergies is like really easy with kind of the way they have things laid out now. I really like the improvements that now I'd already experienced this because they did this when Vessel of Hatred came out, but I really like the improvements they made to leveling. Every character now goes to level 60. Just for reference, I was able to go 1 to 60 on this paladin in like 5 hours. It's super easy to do. I mean, literally, if you just do Helltide, like you get so many levels. It's fucking sick. And I'm at like Paragon like 150 right now, which you know
Jesus.
like which is going pretty good. The new loot systems that they've tweaked in the game are good. Masterworking and tempering is a little bit more sensible now than it was before. So like the way tempering used to work, right, is you could add affixes to like your best gear, but when you did it, you picked like from a list, like you picked like from a recipe page, right? And the recipe page would roll one of like 5 different affixes in a range, and you were hoping you got the affix that you wanted, and you had limited number of rerolls to be able to do it. They changed it now, so where now you don't have to gamble on which affix you get. You can pick the affix that you want, and then you're gambling on the stat range essentially, and you have fewer rerolls, but it's okay because all you're rolling is the percentage, and now percentages have a chance to crit as well, so they can actually roll higher than like the max stat. So that's really cool. Masterworking is a lot simpler than it was previously. Now with masterworking, it just adds quality to the item, which improves just all the stats on the item. And then once you max that out, you get to roll for one of the affixes to get like a critical upgrade, and you can re-roll that as well. So that's all pretty simple and easy. They've made the different because there's a lot of stuff to do in the game now because they've continually added things, and they've made that stuff make sense because they have a lot more like tooltips and explanations on the items themselves to show you like what you need to do in order to get the stuff, right? So like if you want to like masterwork your stuff, your weapons, right, or your items, you need to get this resource called Avocite, where it's like, okay, where do I get that? So if you go to Avocite in your materials pouch, it says, hey, like you can get this from these activities, and so like you know exactly where you can target farm in order to do those, which I think is really helpful. So that's nice, especially as someone who, again, has spent a little bit of time away from the game. This season is also just cool in its theme because kind of the premise of the season is all of the lesser evils have invaded Sanctuary, and so each of them has like an activity. So like Duriel is like the boss of Helltide. So like Helltide is Duriel themed, and you can summon him as like the big uber boss in the Helltide to get like a shitload of rewards. And like Asmodan is like the world boss king now, and there's a place you can go to summon him on demand, but he also appears in like the rotating world boss clock now, as it were. And Dariel is like the Undercity queen, so like she can pop up during Undercity runs, and Belial is like the Nightmare Dungeon guy, and he can pop up, or not the night, is it Nightmare Dungeons? No, he's the pit guy. Like, so like he can pop up during pit runs and stuff like that, and they have like negative modifiers and things of that nature. So like I said, if as someone who's a fan of the lore, like that's cool that all four of them are in the season. It's kind of wild that you can like burst them down as quickly as you can, but that's kind of every boss in Diablo. So that's pretty neat. And then the other main mechanic is that this thing, I think they already said that this will stay in the game. A new mechanic called Sanctification, where once you are done like upgrading your weapon fully, like you've tempered graphics, you fully masterwork it, you added your gem sockets and stuff like that, you can then sanctify the item, which doesn't let you make any more changes to it, but it rolls like a random bonus of some kind, where it might like upgrade an affix, or it might like replace an affix, which could be good or bad depending on, which affix it replaces, because that's random. Or the best one is it'll actually add a second legendary power sometimes to like a weapon that you have, which is also pretty nifty, especially if you get one that's good. But once you do that, that weapon is essentially bricked. Like you can't modify it in any way, shape, or form. Like how it is how it's going to be forever. So you don't want to do that until you've like maxed it out, essentially.
Yeah.
So I'm having a lot of fucking fun. Is this the moral of the story right now?
Well, Brad, I also plan to have a lot of fun because I just bought it. So
Yeah.
thanks.
It's really fucking fun, man. What can I say? And like I've gotten some. I'll tell you what, Micah. If you need a good, like when you get to 60. If you find yourself that you're, because I'm a sword and really a mace and board paladin, like that's how I roll. But if you go with a two-handed weapon, I have a 4 greater affix mace. That's a two-handed mace that I have nothing that I want to do with it. So I'm happy to send that your way if you need it. So.
Oh man, yeah, man. I saw that trailer in the Game Awards. I was like, ooh. It's like that meme of that dude. Ooh, yeah, this looks like my stuff right here, because I'm usually either a monk class in these games, because I like to hit a lot, or I'm a paladin class just because, like, I don't know, the whole like, holy warrior. It's very like Hegseth. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm a holy warrior for God.
Do you have any tattoos you'd like to let us know about that you haven't revealed to this point?
Certainly not. Certainly not.
Also, funnily enough, I was literally playing right before we got on the recording, and I realized at the end of my play session, again, 20 hours into the season, that the build that I have created, I may have been playing very wrong, to the point where like the key thing the build does, I'm just not doing at all. Now, granted, I've still pushed into Torment 2 quite with ease by playing this build wrong, so I can't wait to see what happens when I actually start playing it the way it's supposed to be played. Because there's like an effect that you can proc on enemies, and you have to use your basic attack to do that, and I don't use my basic attack, so like I have to find other ways to proc that effect. For those wondering, I'm using the Captain America style paladin, where I just throw a shield that just ricochets between like a gajillion enemies at one time. So,
man. Oh, you speak my language. You speak my language. Good Lord.
So that's a lot of fun.
Guess
so yeah,
I'm from home tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude, trust me. Like if I get my work done early, we might be double screening while we're at work tomorrow. Yeah, it's real good. It's real fucking good. Like I said, I didn't expect to be like fully back in on Diablo 4, but yeah, we're back for sure. So
all right.
We alluded to the Game Awards. I gotta tell you, I was pretty. I gave Jeff the business earlier this year, both for Summer Game Fest and both for Gamescom, as shows that I don't feel like appeal to like the type of folks that like listen to this podcast and who we are as gamers, because like there's a lot of multiplayer focused shit that they showed and a lot of like shooter focused shit and a lot of like fucking gotcha game focused shit, because that's who's paying the money, right? And so Jeff Keighley has to feature that shit, and you might get a few things here and there that are cool, but for the most part, like I felt out of touch more than I ever have with Jeff's offerings this year. And I'm happy to say that I was pleasantly surprised by the Game Awards. Like, I actually had a really fun time watching the Game Awards with some of the things that they announced, and all the cool stuff that happened. I suppose we should probably at least get the awards part of the Game Awards out of the way first. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 won everything. That's basically the the beginning and end of that story. You know, how fucking baller is it? Like, because again, they won, I think, like 7 awards.
9.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So they won 9 awards. How baller is it of them to not announce the expansion that was dropping that night until they won Game of the Year? Like, that's them.
Yeah,
being
I mean,
like,
you don't want to look foolish, all right? Giving people free stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like they could have announced that first, because like that's them basically saying, like, yeah, we know we're going to win Game of the Year.
We know
like,
we got
fine.
this, right? Yeah.
like even when Skill Up was doing his recap of the Game Awards, he pointed out that the game's director did not speak during the acceptance. He went up on stage.
Awards, yeah.
Right, but he didn't speak during the acceptance of the Best Game Director award.
Yeah,
right. Because he knew. Right, because he knew that he was gonna have another crack at it going up later on. So yeah, Clair Obscur won everything, and as I said in the Discord, imagine going back to 2020 and telling yourself, that somehow we're going to elect Donald Trump president again, which is insane, but also B, that both the sequel to Silksong and the sequel to Hades, or the sequel to Hollow Knight and the sequel to Hades, would both release in the same year, and both of them would be largely shut out at the Game Awards. I think each of them won 1 award. I think Hades won for Best Action Game, and Silksong won for Best... It wasn't Best Indie Game.
Silksong won for Best Action Game. Hades... No, okay. Hades won for Best Action Game. Silksong won for Best Action Adventure Game.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So, yeah, that's wild to me. That they just happened to release both release in the same year.
Yeah.
That they were Juggernaut. I almost wonder if I don't think this would have changed the outcome, but I almost wonder if both of them may have like cannibalized votes from one another, perhaps. I wonder if one of them, if it was by itself, could have mounted a firmer challenge to Clair Obscur.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. They like split the vote or whatever, right? Like, I get it, but I don't think so, man. I think everyone's been calling this thing Clair Obscur Game of the Year since February, and it's been holding on strong. Partly because it's really good. Also, those games are sequels, and sequels are a little harder to kind of break through, in my opinion. But yeah, look, Clair Obscur was nominated for 10 awards and it won 9 of them. The only one it didn't win was audio design. That went to Battlefield 6, which I kind of get, right? Like, movies do that all the time. Like, if it's a war movie.
I get it also, but like I remember when we talked about Clair Obscur, we talked about the fact that how not like especially in combat, like the parrying and dodging like was not only informed by the visual but also by like audio
by the
cues and stuff
sound
like that. Right.
That I thought would have pushed it over the edge, because the audio design is part of the gameplay, right? It's not just, wow, these are some realistic bullet sounds, right? but you can't. You can't. You bat 900. That's
That's
amazing.
pretty good. Pretty good. I think they'll take the L in best audio design for everything else. Meanwhile, their sound designer is like fucking punching through his hat like Ross Perot in The Simpsons. The Simpsons thing. Anything else about the actual awards themselves before we dig into the trailers?
So the actual ceremony, I think the actual ceremony. This is gonna sound this is gonna sound like a backhanded compliment. Maybe it is, but it feels like a real award ceremony. In that I actually like award ceremonies. I watch the Emmys and the Oscars every year, just because I'm super curious about what the industry thinks is the best of the best, and I like looking at the fashion. I don't know what to tell you. I like seeing people get dressed up, and and that's why I watch this. I want to see what people in the video game industry think is like what's good, what's hot shit, right? But the thing about this is that it's also a marketing event, and I get that you got a lot of awards and you wanna get a lot of them read off, but I don't like the rapid fire.
Yeah.
Here's a commercial for a game that's coming out 2 years from now. All right, and best fighting game A B C D E, and it goes to C. Best VR game A B C D E, and it goes to D. Best action game, and best action game goes to Hades. Like nobody got to.
No, they got to go up for that. They got to go up for that. They did. Yeah, they did.
Okay,
So
all right.
Silk Song did not. When they won Action Adventure, they did not. Like Jeff Keighley, that was during one of the rapid fire segments.
I don't like.
I understand what you're saying. I also understand that if it was focused on the awards and it wasn't about the trailers, you wouldn't have 157 million people streaming
Right.
it or whatever.
I know.
Like
I get
that.
it. I get it. I get it, man. I really do. It's it's the game that you have to play, and I 100% understand it. Honestly, and the show's already over 3 hours, right? So I get it. Listen, man, you wanna you wanna shorten, you wanna tighten things up a bit. No offense to anybody else, but you get rid of the esports category, you get rid of the creator category, you get rid of most anticipated. That's not even a fucking award, bro. Most anticipated game? What the fuck? And honestly, you get rid of player's choice. Like,
Nah, you gotta do that to give people a reason to vote. So
I know, I get it.
gotta throw some Golden Globes into your
Best
Oscars,
adaptation. No,
Yeah.
nobody from HBO is gonna be like, is gonna be like, hey, and here's my game award next to my Emmy for The Last of Us. Like,
I'm with you with the esports and content creator stuff because again, like, what are you actually gaining from that? Like, are you bringing in a bunch of eyeballs by seeing, for people to see which of their favorite esports team is going to win
Right.
in an award that takes 30 seconds to hand out, as Jeff Keighley's like, bullet listing these people that you have never heard of? Yes, I'm with you on that. Again, obviously, like, I wish we could tone down on the number of commercials, like paid for commercials that are in there, but again, that's a necessary evil because you got to pay for this shit somehow. So
yeah.
yeah, I think it's always going to be a little uneven just because he has to serve so many masters.
You got to serve a lot of masters, man.
Right.
And I get it, man. I get it. But at the same time, I want people to be recognized, and I like speeches, man. I like acceptance speeches. I like, the inspirational, like, hey, Ubisoft is a shitty place to work for, and I decided I want to branch out. And me and some friends of mine, with me and 45 of my closest friends, and subcontractors, we made this game, and you all love it, and we are incredibly thankful, right? I love acceptance speeches and stuff like that. But yeah, I get it. But I say all that to say that it feels like a real award show, and that award shows, as much as I like them, they're unless you're really into it, like they're boring,
Hmm.
right? And it feels like it feels legitimate. The Game
Hmm.
Awards really does feel legitimate, and no Kojima.
No, he was there. They showed him on camera. He was in the
Well, he didn't
audience.
stand. He didn't
No,
say
he
anything,
he
did
didn't
he?
he didn't
Yeah,
get to
that's
go
what
up
I
on
mean.
stage to
Oh,
promote anything.
that's what I mean when I say
Yeah.
no Kojima.
Okay.
Like he gonna be there. Okay, he gonna be there front row.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised he was there if he didn't have anything to pitch,
I mean, that's his
basically.
buddy. That's his buddy. You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
lord.
Like you gotta. And if you want to keep a one way relationship on, you gotta every once in a while make it two way, right? Like you gotta you gotta throw Jeff a bone. Like, all right, I'll show up, man. I'll show up.
So
So
that's the awards. Let's talk about the trailers. We're not going to go comprehensively through this list. I'm gonna call out the stuff that was the most notable to me. Micah, if I missed anything, will chime in, of course, as well. I have determined that I finally probably need to get around to playing Knights of the Old Republic at some point, huh?
yeah. I mean, do you? I mean, everybody knows like the thing with Knights of the Old Republic,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I know the big
So
twist.
so I'm very curious. How's the game going to land for you, because it's not like the best. It was fine to play, but
Hmm.
back 20 years ago, whenever it came out. But the thing that people talk about with that game is the story and the plot twist. And if you are not, if you, I'm curious, you know, how it's going to land.
It's
So
it's been on my to-do list for a really long time, and I own it. So like I should get around to it. But all that to say that for a teaser trailer, I wasn't expecting a game that started with Star Wars to evoke a reaction out of me. But when they popped the title card on there and it said Fate, and you're like, okay, that's an interesting name, and then they fade in the of the Old Republic, and you're like, oh, like, there's something happening here. And then the real thing that got me interested, apparently being directed by Casey Hudson, formerly of BioWare and Mass Effect
yeah,
fame, and
yeah.
KOTOR fame as well, because he also worked on that game too. So yeah, I should probably get
Look,
around to that at some point.
it's a good game. It's a great story. There's a reason why people still mention it as some of the best. Is one of the best Star Wars games ever. And yeah, we got a new acronym, FOTOR.
Yeah, it's fun to say.
So yeah, it is. It is
So,
FOTOR.
but look, I got plenty of time. That game's not coming out for like 5 years because apparently the studio
Yeah.
that's working on it was formed like 6 months ago, basically. So like we
What
got
what uh what happened to that other Star Wars game that was supposed to come out? Wasn't there another Star Wars game?
supposedly it's still in development by
Huh.
Aspire, but I don't know. I don't think Sony's contributing to it anymore. Like I don't think Sony's publishing it at this point. So we'll
All
see.
right.
We'll see what happens with that. That's again another reason why I should just play the original and not wait for a potential remake that may or may not be good. Larian Studios has kind of put their stake in the ground when it comes to being a mainstream developer and publisher, for that matter, that people need to give a shit about. So people were waiting with bated breath to see what their next game is going to be. We know it's not going to be Baldur's Gate 4 because they are not working on the D&D license anymore, which actually is happy for them, according to them, to not be kind of handcuffed by Wizards of the Coast. And they put a teaser trailer out, quite possibly the grossest game trailer that I've ever seen in my entire life. Holy shit.
Man, look, when they said they were gonna make the Wicker Man the game, I was like, what? What are you talking about? No, this looks look, I mean, it's a trailer, right?
Mhm.
And it's one of those CG trailers. So it's a vibes trailer. And the vibes are creepy and gross, and like what if Diablo, but like worse?
Yeah,
Like Diablo
I'm about to
meets
say
Midsummer.
this makes the Diablo like those Blizzard Diablo cinematics look like PG rated by comparison,
Yeah,
essentially.
man. Like there's a guy in a wicker man, and he's burning, and like flesh is coming off, and it's sprouting into like monsters and shit, and like Jesus
Oh,
Christ,
it's
man.
not just that. Like you have like fucking like it's like at a festival and like dudes are like vomiting and pigs are like eating up the vomit and shit like that you see, and you see dudes like flailing themselves while women are riding on top of somebody in the background. It was just an odd trailer to see during this event specifically. It's almost like if they played
Yeah,
a it's like if they played a Red Band trailer during the Oscars, basically, like like with a wide
right.
audience. Like you're just not expecting to see something like that. So this is the trailer for their next game, Divinity, which is a sequel in the Divinity universe, which is their universe basically. They've done several games, even before Original Sin, which are the other ones which are the two games that people most probably know them for. I did some reading up on the lore of the Divinity universe. It's interesting. So, and because this game is not tethered to any of the other games, it'll be, they kind of have a lot more freedom. And because the older, especially the original Divinity games, which came out during the 2000s, were probably not played by a ton of people that are going to play this, they probably have a lot of freedom to do a lot of like retconning and massaging of the lore, to not be handcuffed. I was watching there's a YouTube channel I like called Mortisimal Gaming who focuses
Yeah.
pretty much exclusively on CRPGs, and he talked about how like the only lore that's probably locked in for this game is probably Original Sin 1 and 2, and everything else is probably on the table as far as that goes. So
I've always wanted to I've always wanted to play Original Sin, just because I don't know, there's something about it,
mhm.
like it reminded me, the way it looked, it reminded me of Dragon Age,
Mhm.
the first one. And but I was always scared because it's like not it didn't seem as accessible as, like a big mainstream Dragon Age game,
Mhm.
even, the original. So I was always a little apprehensive, and I still am, man, because like Baldur's Gate was kicking my ass, man. And like these games are not for dummies like me. So that one might be, as much as interesting as I am, as much as I'm digging the vibes of that trailer. I might wait until you give me the okay that it's
But I
okay to
like
play.
those type of games, so I don't know if my recommendation should be the
See,
gospel for
but
you.
you know what I think. What you know me pretty well, right? You
Yeah,
got me to play Ball Pit, right?
and
Like, and
and
Ball
rank it in
Pit
your
is
top 5 games of the year. So
right. So I'm gonna I'm gonna take you under advisement, and make my judgment from there.
well, I will not be playing that game for a while because much like their other games, I'm sure it will release in early access and just give me the finished product. I don't need to for that type of game. I don't need to play test it for you.
Yeah.
Like I'll let the hardcore do that, and then I'll play it when it's done. So we got some time to wait on that for sure. The worst kept secret in gaming is the reintroduction of Leon Kennedy to the Resident Evil series, as he is going to be a playable character in Resident Evil 9. And he does like roundhouse kicks and can also do the chainsaw instead
Yeah,
of the
he
enemies.
so they said, there's two different characters. I forget the woman's name.
Her
And
name is, I don't remember, which is probably
yeah,
not a good sign.
I cannot remember, but her sections are going to be a little more traditional Resident Evil focused.
Mhm.
Think Resident Evil,
New Age Resident Evil, right?
New Age
Like,
Resident
yeah.
Evil, right? So 7 and 8, right? Her sections are going to be more 7 and 8, whereas the Leon sections are going to be more Resident Evil 6,
No,
which
no, don't,
is
no, no, don't say that. Probably more Resident Evil 4, I would think.
probably Resident Evil 4, but yeah, probably Resident Evil 4. But I'm seeing like Leon, Leon, dude. Yeah, you know what? You're right because like he's not gonna be like fighting like dinosaurs with helicopters and
No.
shit. So it'll be more like Resident Evil 4 Leon, which is still very much action focused and yeah, I'm curious about this game. I like Resident Evil, but I'm not like it's not one of those Capcom properties that I'm just like a hardcore fan of, right? Like I've played all the games, but I haven't finished all the games.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I'll probably play this eventually, but because I am curious. And it's Leon, right? There's a
Mhm.
white guy named Leon. Like, of course I got to play that guy, right? So yeah, we'll see. I'm curious.
Speaking of
And it
Wizards,
comes out in February,
it
so
does.
by next year it'll be super cheap.
Yes, that is all. Yeah, if you can trust me, if you wait, those Resident Evil games go get down in price
Yeah,
very
yeah,
quickly. Like you can already get RE4, I think, for under $20 pretty routinely nowadays.
yeah.
So, speaking of Wizards of the Coast, they had two games that they showed off. One of which was a new game that they revealed for the first time. One of which we've seen before. I remember I was half interested when they showed their first trailer for Exodus, which is a new sci-fi action RPG that stars Matthew McConaughey. That is kind of vibing towards Mass Effect a little bit. And I gotta tell you, after watching this trailer, I am 1000% disinterested in this game. It looks so fucking generic.
Thank you.
It looks like someone's like, we have Mass Effect at home kind of
Yes.
vibes. Like that's what I'm seeing here.
That was the vibe that I was getting the first time I saw it, man. It just seemed there's something about these character designs that it just seems like bog standard. Like this is what a focus group of non-sci-fi fans think sci-fi fans like. And plus the fact that it stars like I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like the celebrity thing, it can work, but I don't know. This again, I was kind of cool on this. My opinion hasn't changed. Like
Yeah.
you can try to do Mass Effect if you want, but like, you know, it's not doing it for me.
And then the second trailer they showed, got me intrigued initially because they started playing Tool over the trailer. But then as they showed kind of more of the kind of premise of the game, it's this game called Warlock in the D&D universe. It stars Trisha Helfer. And again, this just looks like bog standard, not exciting, stuff to me. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Lots of folks. Another game that I guess I need to get around to fucking playing is Control, because people were fucking going nuts for the trailer for Control Resonant, which looks like you are playing as Jesse Faden's brother in this game, and instead of a third-person adventure shooter, looks like a third-person character action game essentially, with the way
Yeah.
the gameplay is floating out here.
Look, man, I am on an island.
Mm-hmm.
I think Control is kind of overrated.
Yeah.
I really do.
But you're also not like, and nor am I, because I've never played any of the games, but you're not like Remedy Universe pilled either, are you?
I used to I always try their games
Mm-hmm.
because like they blend the two things that I like the most, video games and movies. But what was that one movie with the guy who was the Hobbit? Like they had Quantum Break or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I tried to play that game and presentation is off the wall, man, but like the game is just not that great. It's not that fun. It's not that interesting. It feels like Max Payne. Everything feels like Max Payne.
And
Everything feels like
you didn't
Max
play
Payne.
any of the Alan Wake games, did you?
I played the first Alan Wake,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wasn't interested.
Yeah.
I played Control, and I don't know. It felt like Max Payne with like a little bit of telepathy, and like an uninteresting X-Files episode.
See, I'm
So
interested in like the universe in that game. Like the concept seems cool. I remember Jack being really down on it when it came out, and that kind of scared me away from it. And I've also, again, I'm not a Remedy universe guy. Like, I'm never gonna play the Alan Wake games. I've never played Max Payne. So like none of that stuff has any interest to me at all. But I see people get really excited about it, so it might just be the FOMO talking. But that trailer for Resident looked cool, so we'll see. Again,
Yeah, I mean,
Control, another game I own 5 different ways for free for various
right.
various giveaways. So over the years. Speaking of games that I mark out for and say, holy shit, that looks cool, but there's a good chance that I will never play. A former RGG gentleman is branching out, starting his own studio, and has a trailer for a game called Gang of Dragon, which looked badass.
I mean, Brad, I'm surprised you didn't hear me yell my excitement from 40 miles away. Yeah, man, like this took me back to like 2001 when I'm in college watching a bunch of Asian cinema. That's when everybody gets there. Well, that's when I got my Asian cinema cherry popped when I was in college, watching all this stuff, watching like Korean action movies and Japanese action movies, and man, this looks dope. This looks like a game that is one of those games that's made for me.
Yeah. So I'll have to wait for you to play this first to let me know if I should dip into this, because again, Yakuza's, and this isn't a Yakuza game, but it's Yakuza adjacent. Like, that's one of those series that I've always admired from afar, and I see everyone else having fun, and I'm just like, but I don't think it would be for me. Again, I played through the prologue for Like a Dragon, and I was like, this is cool. I wasn't compelled to play much more of it beyond the prologue, but I was like, I understand why people like this.
Yeah, you gotta kind of be like, I wouldn't fully call myself Ebe, but like you gotta dip your toe in it a little bit. You know what I mean, to kind of really get into it. But like, that's me. I'm like half a weeb. I love all that shit. And yeah, that looks dope, man.
Now, what many of you listening are probably been waiting for. Micah and Brad dissect the Street Fighter movie trailer.
So I spoke a little bit about this on the Nerdpocalypse because I showed Jay some of the images, and he was just like, "What the fuck? Like, what the fuck is this?"
Well, look. So here's the thing. I am excited that they are leading into it in the right way. Like again, like I said the whole time about this movie, especially as the casting started coming out. Like, I don't mind if it's bad as long as it's interestingly bad. And it certainly looks like that they are leading into interestingly bad by being very committed to the source material.
Yeah, and like it can't help but be interestingly bad if you do that, right? Like, the last interesting bad movie I saw was Megalopolis, right? Like, that movie is not good, but I enjoyed myself while watching it. And I'm hoping that this is what this could be, right? Like, I know a lot of people were like really high on that Mortal Kombat movie when it came out. And I don't know, maybe it's because I like the Mortal Kombat property. The movie was fine, but people were like, "Oh my god, it's fucking amazing!" Like, no, it's not. Like, it's all right. I'm a massive hypocrite because like I think I'm into this. And like, but I'm into it because of Street Fighter. I'm into it because like Cody Rhodes is playing my main.
Well, and that's the thing. So
time,
like, everyone knows that you and I have an affinity for the 1994 Street Fighter movie, even though that movie is straight dog shit. And even that movie like cut so many corners. Like, obviously, like, Guile is Jean-Claude Van Damme, which doesn't make any fucking sense. And E Honda is like a news cameraman, and so is Balrog. And Ken and Ryu are like hustlers.
Yeah, they're
and
con men.
right, and all this other stuff, and it still worked. Like it still managed to work and be ridiculous and fun. It is so much more ridiculous to see Jason Momoa look like Shoot Blanca in these stills, and Roman Reigns look like Shoot Akuma in these fucking stills.
That's you used the wrong vowel there. I would have went with an I instead of two O's, but that's I get it. I get it. Look, man, it's silly. It looks silly, and I hope that I hope that it's kind of a comedy, man. Like they don't look like they're taking themselves too seriously.
There's no
right?
way. There's no
like
way.
Eric Andre's in it. They can't be taking themselves too seriously.
That's the part that's the most remarkable. Like they actually are like given a serious role to fucking Balrog's hype man who's just in the background in the fucking mega stage. Like, okay.
Dude, El Fuerte is in this trailer.
Oh, is he really? I didn't even catch that.
He's getting axe kicked by Ken. You didn't recognize him because El Fuerte is a big boy. El Fuerte is a Mexican luchador who is a chef, but a really bad one. And
but he was a little guy in Street Fighter.
He was a small guy. Yeah, he was a small guy. He was like Rey Mysterio, and this is like, hey, Mysterio. You know what I'm saying? Like he's fucking huge. But I'm looking forward to like little stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I'm very curious. I'm very curious as to what this is.
I mean, look, they ended the trailer with the fucking, beating up the car. Like that's exactly the kind of shit that we're looking for from this. I'll dip into the post office real quick just because it's relative, because Beach Boy asked, so with that teaser for Street Fighter that dropped, can we expect a No Time to Bleed of the 2026 film? Also, with this movie, should we expect more or less craziness for the next Mortal Kombat? Less craziness for Mortal Kombat. I feel like that they still want to keep one foot in seriousness with Mortal Kombat. But can you expect a No Time to Bleed review? I don't know if we're gonna get the whole crew together. Me and Micah will absolutely review.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, 1,000%.
That might be the first thing we do in 2026, man.
Yeah, 1,000%. I might go pay to see this in a movie theater. Like that's how fucking curious I am about this fucking film. Oh my god.
Oh man.
So there's that. We're getting not one, but two Tomb Raider games in the coming years. Next year, we're getting a reimagining of the original Tomb Raider game. It's called Legacy of Atlantis. And it's got dinosaurs and everything. And then there's another game called Tomb Raider Catalyst that is coming out in 2027. And Lara Croft looks weird in this trailer.
So I like what they're doing with Laura in that they are aging her.
Mm-hmm.
They
are, but as I heard someone comment from Giant Bomb, I don't remember who, like it looks like her face was run through like a yassified filter, essentially.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like they're aging her, but the older Laura looks like she had a little too much Botox.
Mm-hmm.
And I start to notice that now, because someone pointed it out to me in a show that I was watching. Like, yeah, this woman has lines in her forehead, right, while she's emoting, because she doesn't have fucking rat poison in her head, right? She don't have a bunch of Botox all over the place. And I'm like, oh shit! Like, and now I notice it all the time, right? Like all these smooth foreheads from people, and I'm like, yo, it's a lot of Botox. I do like that Crystal Dynamics is kind of aging Lara with her adventures. I like that. I really enjoyed that first game they did. The second one, I think those games got progressively worse in terms of like story, and gameplay was a little too similar. But I really liked that first game, and that was before she became the Lara Croft that we know. I've never played the original Tomb Raider, so I'll pick both of these up. I like action adventure games.
I need to wait to get your perspective. It seems like they're going away from the tone that was in this recent trilogy that they did over the last decade, which is fine because, like I said, they took a really interesting shift for those games, just in terms of like how brutal they were in a
Yeah, I didn't
series
care
that's
for
not
that,
known
man.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. That's the one thing about those games I just did not care for. That felt like that felt like the precursor to all this red pill shit, man. Like seeing there's literally no reason to watch this character like get get mutilated like this when she dies. Like it's not a when you fail,
Hmm.
right? Like it's not a horror game. It's not Resident Evil for fuck's sakes, right? So that was the one mark that like, and I kind of hope they don't, you know, I kind of hope they stay away from that shit. But
The tone does seem like they're not. Again, this is. I mean, I might be conflating the two because they showed the trailers back to back, but like it feels like they're going with more of the lighthearted tone. Like I don't necessarily think you're going to see like dinosaurs and shit in this new game, but I also don't think you're going to need to worry about Lara like impaling herself on a fucking piece of rebar like when she falls. Like
yeah,
down,
like she's becoming like she's gonna. I think in the new game, like she's got gadgets. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? She's got like a scorpion, like get over here, like spear in the trailer. So that's gonna be obviously be a gameplay mechanic, right?
Mhm. Oh, they showed a
And
shitload of grappling in the trailer. So
right, and it's you know, I think you're right. I think they need to land more of the I hate to say it, they need to land more of the Uncharted
oh,
like territory.
it keeps being cyclical. Oh, so
So, I am interested in this though.
the second thing that many of our listeners are probably very curious to hear Micah and Mai's takes on is they have revealed who is playing the villain in 007 First Light, both in voice and apparently in likeness as well. And if you gave me 100 guesses, I would have not landed anywhere fucking near this. Lenny Kravitz is going to be the villain in 007 First Light. Lenny Kravitz has acted before, but he is not an actor. I don't think the scene that they chose to introduce his character was a great option because, again, it had him doing some really piss poor line reading in this scene where he
Yeah.
has Bond, perilously hanging over a pit of alligators. Um, it's as I said in the Discord, it's a choice. I don't know that I would have made that choice. I just don't know who you are getting by doing this. Like I'd be curious to hear their rationales, how they landed on Lenny Kravitz for this. Aside from he's probably going to do the song for the game, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's probably it. I don't look. I like the idea of this character, right? Like, allow me to get a little racial here. I think we need more black villains in everything, because like we can do anything, right? And I like the look of this character. I like the vibe of this character. I just don't like the way. I don't like the words that are coming out of his mouth and the way that they are saying that. Like it just it's really poor line reading, and I I I worry about it
Good news
because
is I bet we don't see him a ton in the game.
yeah, I'm hoping not, man. I'm hoping we get like you got the main villain and then you got the goon, right? The head
Mhm.
goon. And I'm hoping that the head goon is the thing that is a little more persistent throughout the game.
Well, also too,
Um,
like this, like you see the villain more in the movies because the perspective in the movie switches often in the movie, but in the game, I'd imagine we're going to be following Bond exclusively, and I don't imagine you're going to have Bond interacting with the villain a ton.
yeah.
Like usually Bond will interact with the villain like on 3 to 4 occasions throughout the film. The first one's usually like a social interaction to establish the different characters and stuff like that. So we'll see if that's the case. But I don't think Lenny Kravitz will be popping up a ton in this.
Yeah, I think the scene that they show is his you expect me to talk? No, I expect you to die, right? I think
Hmm.
that's what this particular scene is. And then maybe one more main interaction towards the end of the you know, the climax of the game. So yeah, we'll see.
I mean, it doesn't dampen my enthusiasm for the game. I still think this game's gonna be fucking cool as
No,
shit. So
yeah, this game is still a day one. This is a take a day off work game for me.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing the shit out of this game.
I am super excited because the rumors are finally true. This one's just for me. No one else listening probably gives a fuck. But the next game from Creative Assembly, the makers of Total War, is Total War Warhammer 40K, which is going to be very exciting for me. Warhammer they've done a couple Total War Warhammer games, but they've existed exclusively in the fantasy Warhammer universe, which is not my jam. 40K very much is my jam, and I cannot wait to see what they do. Because usually the Total War games take place like on a continent, on a map, but obviously since it's 40K, now it's more of like a planetary, like system wide type of game, which is nifty. So it looks cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, the only other thing that I'm absolutely like jazzed for is Phantom Blade 0. I don't know, man. It just looks cool, and I while I'm not particularly good at these type of like melee action games, I do like them, and they make me feel like a badass. So that's probably the only other thing that I'm really interested in. I don't really care about Mega Man, especially if it's not coming out.
Oh, I got it. I got a
2027.
couple more for you. We'll get to that. Ace Combat 8, again, I was watching the Giant Bomb talk over. They marked out over this. They also mentioned that Ace Combat 7 was really good. Guess what? I bought Ace Combat 7. It was $4 after the Game Awards. I need to get into it. I played the first two missions. So far, the first two missions are very much training wheels. If you like the gameplay, you might also like Ace Combat, Micah, because apparently, like the way I heard
Ace Combat.
the way I heard it described is, what if fighter jets and the world is kind of Metal Gearish, because it takes place on a fictional planet, like a fictional world, but it's still very much akin to like our world. It's just like the countries are all made up and all that sort of shit, but it's all like it takes like the whole overarching theme of the games is all these political intrigue between different areas and different countries and stuff like that. And so it's interesting. I think it's on sale. I think 7 is on sale for like $4 everywhere right now. So might be worth taking a flyer.
If it is, I will partake, because I used to work with a guy, huge like PlayStation fan, right? Like he was like, PlayStation saved his life. It got him off of drugs. He got addicted to video games, and he used to love Ace Combat. He used to love it, and I just never got into it. So maybe I'll give but everyone but like people love Ace Combat.
Right.
Right, so maybe I'll give 7 a shot, if it's especially if it's under $5.
Yeah, if it's under $5, you might as well. So, I'm also kind of intrigued by Star Wars Galactic Racer, because a lot of people talk really positively about Episode 1 Pod Racer from way back in the day, and they have former Burnout developers working on this. So, count me surprised that there are 2 Star Wars things that I'm kind of intrigued about coming out of this presentation. So that's neat. Yeah, the Mega Man thing. So they make this, prelude to a big announcement. They have the fucking orchestra playing a song over it. And I'm like trying to figure out what this is, because the shot is going down this like tunnel, and you see these monitors with like dates that they're moving by, and like they put in like this password. And so as these doors open, like I hear the orchestra there, and they hit the Dr. Wily theme from Mega Man 2. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, it's a fucking Mega Man. Like, it's fucking Mega Man. And then like it's Mega Man. You're like, oh, new Mega Man game. And then they showed it's basically Mega Man 12, and I was like, oh, okay. Like that's Like that's cool and all, I guess. Like we do love a 2D Mega Man, but with all that build up, I got to say I was kind of hoping for something a little more than just another 2D Mega Man.
Yeah, I kind of, I mean, look, it's tried and true for a reason, right? But I don't know. Mega Man is this is a proven commodity, and maybe that's why it's being done. But I would really enjoy something different.
Yeah.
I won't say something like gritty or new, but like
No, just take another
something.
crack at 3D.
Yeah.
Like people carry, like, I'm not a Mega Man Legends fan. There are a lot of people that carry a torch for those two games, but like, I don't know, like, can we try something else? That's not well-worn territory at this point. So,
And it looks like Mega Man 11, like
it looks better than Mega Man 11, but
okay,
but
it
again,
looks
like
better
how
than
much?
Mega Man 11.
Yeah, but like
But
how much more can you do with that premise? You know what I mean?
Like it doesn't. Yeah, like all right, but look, you play those games for the platforming, right?
Like
And maybe
like if they're gonna do another 2D game, like Resurrect the X series, like that would be cooler, I think, than going back to just regular Mega Man, and then do something different with Mega Man. So I don't know. Like I said, I was really hyped, and then the hype kind of, the air deflated out of the balloon a little bit once I saw that it was just another 2D game. Also, they tease at the end of the trailer with the whistle that you'll probably get to play as Proto Man in the game as well, which will be neat. But
I'm assuming like that's the hook, right? Like
right.
it's co-op Mega Man, which I cannot think of anything more like headache inducing than fucking co-op Mega Man.
I was thinking about, like, I would almost, like, you don't even need to make a whole ass 3D game. Like, what if you did Mega Man, and I'm not saying like the structure of this, but just like from a perspective. Like, what if you somehow did it with like a Hades style, like an isometric perspective type of game, but you have full, range of movement and stuff like that.
I'm surprised Mega Man hasn't gone the route of the roguelike.
They did actually. It was originally a
did?
mobile game. It's now on other consoles. I haven't played it, so I don't know if it's any good. But
Okay.
yeah, they did make a Mega Man roguelike game. But
Okay.
but considering you haven't heard much about it, you can probably guess that it's probably not. You need to go out of your way to check out. And then the only reason we're talking about this game is because it was the last thing they showed. They, again, prelude to a big announcement. Like, Jeff Keighley was like, oh, this game's going to be fucking awesome. Like, it's the last thing we're showing. It's a world premiere. They've been working on this game in secret. It's 60 people that used to work at Respawn Entertainment. They have their own studio now. And here's their new big game. It's called High Guard. Check it out. It's coming out January 26th. And goddamn, did this thing land like a lead balloon, man. Like as soon as you see the art style, which is basically just like, what if Overwatch, but like filtered by Electronic Arts, essentially. And that's kind of what this game looks like. And it looks like just another one of these hero shooter battle royale
hero shooters, man.
I guess, man.
Hero shooters.
I guess. I guess, but it's just like, I will never understand. I don't know, man. Like, for every one of these games that comes out and hits, there's like 20 that, shut down within the first 18 months of being out. I didn't see anything in this trailer that's making me think like, holy shit, like they're going to give Apex or Fortnite a real run for their money here. Like, nah, it looks like all the other ones.
Yeah.
And
I'm not into hero shooters. If Marvel Rivals couldn't get me to play it.
That Deadpool announcement didn't get you downloading it immediately? No? Shocking.
No, not at all. Yeah, this is not for me. And I thought this being the final thing,
it would not have hit that badly had it not been the last thing they showed. That I will say. Like if they had just showed that in the regular course of things, it just would have been another game. But the fact that they built it up and made a big fucking stink about this, like, I don't know, man. Like know your audience. But again, I guess they paid for that slot. So
all right. Yeah, not for me.
So that was the announcements of the Game Awards. Let's rapid fire through the rest of the news. one of the big stories that came out last week, Katsuhiro Harada, the head of the Tekken franchise, has announced that he's leaving Bandai Namco and therefore leaving Tekken at the end of the year. A bit of a sad statement for him. Like he kind of reflected like a lot of the folks that he came up with and in the industry have passed away. Either or retired, and it's kind of made him a little sad, and said, these have kind of made him think back on the time that I have left as a creator, and so it was a very melancholy but also a very humanizing statement from him. It's going to be very interesting to see where Tekken goes without his not being under his stewardship anymore, and it'll also be interesting to see if he does anything himself after he leaves Bandai Namco.
I'm glad he's leaving on his own terms. I'm sad that he feels that like I get it, he might not be fulfilled, he might not be into it. The fact that one of his best friends has passed away tragically, and he's probably going through like a 3/4 life crisis, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. And he's worked with one company for 30 years on basically one project for 30 years. He's done other stuff at Namco Bandai. I'm aware, but he's known for Tekken. And in this climate where everybody has a platform and everybody is accessible, and you kind of have to be on social media in order to promote your game, like people give that guy a bunch of fucking shit, man. And Michael Murray doesn't help, because Michael Murray is like very protective of him and the brand, and he will go back and forth with people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Michael Murray's his translator, and he will and co-producer, and he will go back and forth with people. And I can imagine if being Harada, I'm just like at one point Harada famously has a shirt that says "Don't ask me for shit," because people keep like pestering the man about like a bunch of bullshit, and he just wears his "Don't ask me for shit" shirt. And so yeah, I get it, man. I get it. It'll be sad that he's leaving such a franchise that his name is synonymous with. But if it makes him, if it helps his mental state, then I'm all for it. You know what I mean? And maybe it'll get the juices flowing, and maybe he'll come up with something different. Or, I think he's earned the right to just say, you know what, I want to kick my feet up and just chill. I've been at a place for 30 years. People don't do that shit anymore.
No. And again, with one, to your point, like being so closely associated with one property for that long is tough. And that series has had a lot of ebbs and flows throughout the years. So
yeah.
So about that Saudi EA buyout, a lot of people kind of tried to hedge and be like, well, maybe it won't be that bad because there's other investors that'll be involved, and the Saudi conglomerate might just be the biggest investment firm, but I don't know if they'll put a big hand on the wheel. Well, it's come out to be understood that if this acquisition does get approved, the Saudi government will own 93% of EA. So there's that. And again, as we mentioned, they're doing a leverage buyout. So basically, as soon as the acquisition is finalized, they will be saddling EA with $20 billion in debt that EA will be responsible for not only paying off, but paying interest on, and maintenance payments every single year as well, for banks to service that debt, which can also cost lots of fucking money as time goes along. So, and again, you don't own 93% of one of the biggest game publishers in the world just to sit back and let them cook, essentially.
Yeah, bro. Like no one buys something and then it's just like, okay, you with it. Like, no, people gotta justify their jobs.
Yep.
So they're gonna wanna stick their hand in stuff. And Yeah. Didn't Saudi buy E3? Oh, not
Uh,
E3. Evo.
Evo, yes, yes, they did.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a creator. Everybody, we all know who Maximilian is. And for the past couple of years, he would be at Evo streaming, right? And it's good for the brand. He gets interviews. He brings his million plus,
Hmm.
followers on YouTube alone to watch Evo. And now all of a sudden, after a couple years of being there in person doing live shows, like I don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, just management and not really into it now.
Hmm.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Hey, but at least Evo this year will feature Game Awards winner for best fighting game, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves.
Hey man, hey look, it's what's not there? Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat didn't come out this year, did it? Oh, you
No,
mean
that don't
Evo?
matter.
Yeah, 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 you
At
mean
Evo,
Evo.
at Evo, it's not gonna be there, man.
Yeah. Very,
Very
very
curious.
interesting. Very interesting. So, yeah, we'll see if Mass Effect 5 ever sees the light of day. And then finally, employees at id Software have voted to unionize, which is cool. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think that's pretty neat. And this isn't just QA folks; this is developers as well. So
Good,
that's a good positive sign that we like to
good,
see around here.
excellent.
We will take it to the Dense Pixels post office. You can ask us questions. We'll answer them on the show. densepixels.com/fans to join our Discord to be able to contribute to the show. Just like Cam did, legitimate question. Is FIFA corrupt enough to let Trump buy a World Cup final? So, for those that missed it, and I wouldn't say I missed it, Bob, they did the World Cup draw a couple weeks ago, which really was the let's show Donald Trump that he's a special, special boy, and make sure that because he wants to win a Nobel Peace Prize so badly, and is so mad that he has not been nominated for one, despite ending, according to him, 8 wars. I'd like to check the tally on that,
Name
but
all of them.
yeah,
Name all of them. It's 8.
right,
Name all of them.
yeah, name them all. So he really wants to win a Nobel Peace Prize. And for those that don't follow politics and don't listen to Jay and I on Look Forward, the only reason he wants to win one is because Barack Obama wins one, and he thinks that
Yep,
he's
that's it.
and he sees Barack Obama as being beneath him, so he must also have one for his fragile ego to be sated. But he has not yet won a Nobel Peace Prize, despite lobbying for one, which is something that famously the Nobel Committee fucking hates. Um, so so Johnny Infantino, who is the head of FIFA, who is one of the most corrupt organizations on the block, if not the most corrupt. Them and the IOC are pretty much neck and neck for that. Is like, what we should do? Let's create a FIFA prize for peace. And wouldn't you know it, the first awarding of this is going to be awarded to Donald Trump. And boy, he was so happy to win that
I mean,
fucking
he
thing.
snatched the thing out of his
He
hand
put
like
the
a
right,
little
right.
kid.
He
and
put
it right
he put the
on him.
medal on himself, like he had the fucking
Like,
trophy. He's like, I'm so proud to win this award that you made up 5 minutes ago. Like, this is one of the greatest privileges of my life. All this other shit, because Johnny Infantino's not an idiot, and he knows he knows where the bread is buttered, essentially, and so he wants to make sure that anything that he needs, he will be able to get with this World Cup that's coming up in the U.S. next year.
let me ask you. I want to ask you a very serious question.
Yes.
Okay, you and Jay are my. You're not my. You're not my. I don't mean to laugh, but you're not my go-to political pundits.
Mm-hmm.
But you are the most politically inclined people that I'm willing to talk to. In all seriousness, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna look dead in the camera. You think we will get to the point where we will have an actual the emperor's new clothes situation
I mean, aren't we already kind
where
of there?
someone no I mean someone has an invisible suit and helps him and he struts around butt ass naked and he believes that he's wearing an invisible suit. I mean, because like you said, we're there, but we're not there literally.
Well, getting back to Cam's question, is FIFA corrupt enough to let Trump buy a World Cup final? So Cam was basically saying like, would FIFA somehow rig the game to get the U.S. to win a World Cup on home soil, which the U.S. would never be able to do otherwise? No, FIFA is bigger than that. Essentially, Put it this way: if I'm of the mind when after the draw happened and I saw what group the U.S. got slotted in. That's FIFA putting their thumb on the scale, as it was essentially. So the U.S. is in perhaps the easiest World Cup group that I've ever fucking seen in my entire life in this tournament. So like they could basically trip and fall into the knockout round as like a one seed base, or not as a one seed, but like as a higher ranked seed where they will face a worse opponent essentially in the round of 16. That's the extent to which FIFA can manipulate that, because the other the problem with conspiring to get them all the way to the final is that the other countries also have to play along, and there's literally no reason for them to, because they would rather win the World Cup than placate the desires of the US, especially European countries who fucking hate that dude anyway. So
who hate that dude, and also like everyone else in the world respects this sport except America. They're not gonna let. They're not. It's a point of fucking pride at this point.
I mean, no bullshit. Were we not hosting the tournament, there is a real chance that we might not have qualified for it. Because the U.S. men's national team is on the back foot a little bit right now.
Jesus.
So we were and CONCACAF, which is the region that we qualify in for the World Cup, has gotten a lot better, to the point where like Canada's pretty good, Mexico is always good, and then there's always a couple of pretty good teams in Central America as well that give us trouble, like Costa Rica and shit like that. So to answer the question, no, they will not be able to corrupt their way to a final. Again, getting the most generous group draw that I've ever seen is probably as much as FIFA can do, and the rest would be for the U.S. men's national team to get it across the line. If they don't make it out of this group, that will be a fantastic embarrassment. Put it that way. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. Cam asked a follow-up question, said, "I'm giving the gift of books from a nice local bookstore this year, and my question is, what video game book would you people recommend for an 11-year-old gamer, if any?" He's my nephew, not a random child. Cam, make sure to clarify. The problem is the age, right? Because like there's a lot of video game books that I would recommend, but not necessarily to an 11-year-old.
I mean, what is he like?
Right? I mean, that's part of it. The other problem is too, like,
I don't read too many video game based books.
Well, they don't have to be fictional, I don't think. Like there's a lot of really good nonfiction video game books. The best one that I'd recommend to you is actually not something you could buy in a bookstore. It's actually something you have to order directly from Lost in Cult, and it is called The Console Chronicles, which is a essay-based like history of basically every video game console to come out up to, I think, the PS5 and Xbox One. I don't know if the Switch 2 has any notes in there, because it hadn't released by the time the book came out. But that would be my recommendation. Again, it's on Lost in Cult's website. You have to order it directly from them. I think it's on Amazon too. But I like that a lot. They have a handheld version too called the Handheld History, which I also enjoyed quite a bit. And there's lots of pictures in the book. I've talked about on the show before of like not only the consoles and some of the key games, but also some like rare variants of consoles that have been out there throughout the years that are hard to find and stuff like that. So it's a very interesting history of game consoles. So that would probably be my recommendation for someone that young. I mean, if he wants to get some brutal industry shit, get him one of Jason Schreier's books, because they're all very good as well. But I don't think that would be as enjoyable for an 11-year-old. personally.
Yeah, probably not.
Yep.
You can have my copy of The Fall of Reach. That's a Halo book. That's fine.
And that's the thing, like the Mass Effect books by Drew Karpyshyn are surprisingly good, but you have to be a fan of
They're
Mass
actually very
Effect.
good.
Yeah, but you have to be a fan of
Yeah.
Mass Effect to like them. So,
Yeah.
yep. Johnny says, which was your favorite flute used by the flute guy? His McDonald's micro toy, his 8-foot bong, his PVC pipe. Yeah, so that was the gimmick during the Game of the Year nominees orchestra medley that they do every year. Is that with every transition in song, the flute guy picked up a new instrument. And he literally had 6 different instruments to play during this fucking medley, which is insane. My favorite reaction to this on the stream that I was watching is when he pulled out the hyper bass flute, which is the giant fucking flute that he played at the end there. Someone exclaimed that he's playing the number 4, which I thought was very funny, because that's basically what it looks like. I gotta say the PVC pipe flute might be my favorite flute just because of the reaction of holy shit, is he playing a piece of PVC pipe?
I mean, that's it, right? Like that's the answer. Like he's playing PVC pipe. He's playing fucking the shit that I put street lighting wire in. He's playing conduit, guys.
God, he is so excited all the time. I love it. Oh my God, he is so into it.
I wish I had that kind of passion, man.
Dude, that's a fucking guy right there. Live your life like fucking flute guy. That's sensational. Also, a lot of really weird mouthpieces on all these flutes that he has. Very crazy. So, yeah, hyperbass flute is cool. Hyperbass flute is one of those instruments that, I love very niche, bespoke instruments that literally nobody fucking plays. Like there's a couple of saxophones, because I used to be a saxophone player. I mean, I guess technically I still am because I still know how to do it. But like the sopranino saxophone is like the piccolo of saxophones, and I've never seen one in person, and you never see one, but it's just like this tiny fucking sax that someone plays. And then there's also I think it's just called a bass saxophone, because I used to play a baritone saxophone, and a bass saxophone is bigger than that. I'm trying to find it. It might not be called the bass saxophone because that's just a baritone saxophone. But yeah,
I used to play an alto saxophone.
oh, so that's what I played as well. Well, I played everything, but alto was my main saxophone that I played. I didn't know you played. How long did you play for?
Like 5 years.
Okay.
And I just fell off. I wish I didn't.
Yeah, I was thinking about picking it back up again, but I don't think it would be a good idea until I get a new house that I can have a space that's a little bit more soundproofed to practice in. I did pick up bass guitar though, and that's been a lot of fun. So,
Man, are we brothers? Are we brothers?
Yeah.
Did we just become best friends? Because I was like, but during the pandemic, I was like, man, I kind of want to pick up like a guitar, but I'm more of a bass guy, right? Like I'm that guy that's just like, lean on a stool, right? Like with glasses and like a candy cigarette in my mouth, right? Just boom, 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 like just slapping a bass. Yeah, that would have been my guitar of choice.
I think it would be very funny if on this podcast all 3 of us played bass.
Right.
That would be a fun gimmick. So that does it for the questions. We had to play a little catch up from a couple weeks ago, just because we did miss a week for Thanksgiving, and last week we did Game of the Year. So thank you all for your questions. We'll solicit brand new ones when we're back in 2026. Again, no new episodes for the remainder of the year. We're going to take a couple weeks off to enjoy the holidays with our families and just chilling and playing Diablo 4, and then we'll be back with
right now.
I'll say back with some fresh video game chatter in the new year. We thank you all very much, all of you who watch and listen to this show every week, especially you OGs that have been around for a long time, because next year when we get to February, that'll mark 13 years of this podcast, which is an insane thing to think about. yeah, we do it for y'all. So we really appreciate you tuning in and checking out and hanging out with us in Discord. So thank you very much. Enjoy the holidays, and we'll catch you all the next time.
See ya.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.